that means there's work to do.
Amazon sales have been pretty slow recently.
I think I've talked about that in like 3 of my last couple of videos.
The main reason for that, I believe, is because I haven't sent in many shipments.
In fact, I was just realizing that because I've been spending so much time focusing on YouTube, I might have only sent in 2 shipments over the past 2 months. Look, I know it's early in the day, but my sales so far are only 68.71. And because of one of the things I talked about in my last video, I know I need to be selling around 250 a day in order to run my business, move it forward, pay myself. And really, the only way that you're gonna be able to make money on Amazon is by sending in shipments. And so if I go over the shipments, we can see that's insane. I sent in a shipment the 2nd of June, and then I sent in another shipment on the 24th, so 2 in June. And then I also sent in a shipment May 16th, and then the last one before that was April 29th. So over the last 3 months, I've only sent in 4 shipments. That's not good.
So today we're gonna send out all of this stuff and all of this stuff down here.
And because I've shot other shipment videos before, I'm gonna show the whole process and walk through everything that I think is the most important. But I also wanna talk about the 3 things in your business that'll actually make you money, which are gonna be the buying of inventory, the sending of inventory to Amazon, and then the post-production. I don't really know what to call this last one, so I just called it post-production because that's how I think about it for videos. Before your inventory is actually at Amazon, but there's some stuff that you should do to make sure that it makes the most money as possible. I'll show you how I do all 3 of those things, and we'll talk through a lot as we get the shipment sent to Amazon. To be completely honest though, I have been really lazy and not wanting to make this video, so I might do a lot of time lapses. It just takes me forever to send shipments to Amazon, and I had a comment saying that there were some ways that I could better my system, but they didn't tell me any ways that I could better my system. If you see me doing something wrong and there's a better way that I could do it, like, please let me know. I am not the expert on all of this. That's just what I do. But before you say I still have a laser printer, I am eventually gonna get a thermal printer. It just hasn't happened yet. And one of the major reasons why that hasn't happened yet is because I haven't had a lot of money to do that, because I have all this inventory sitting in my house and haven't sent a lot of shipments into Amazon. So I'm gonna organize stuff up and we'll talk through the first part, which is buying the inventory. And there's actually a new way that I did this over the past couple weeks. That's the problem too. I've had so much of this stuff sitting in my apartment for ages now, and I've been like, why hasn't this stuff been selling? And it's because it's here, not at Amazon. Dum-dum. That was to me, not to you, don't worry. But all of this, I've already cataloged into Inventory Lab, which is my inventory system. And that's how I'm gonna be sending all of this into Amazon. I have an affiliate link for them down in the description if you're interested. I just feel like it makes my life easier. And we're gonna grab all of this stuff from Ross. These things from TJ Maxx runs. They have some moleskins now, so if you're at TJ Maxx's, you might wanna pick those up. These are returns from Amazon. These ones I originally sent in used like new and forgot that I had done that because that's what I was only approved for. But obviously they didn't sell because people would rather buy a new, and they were always in stock new. So I got these sent back to me, so now I can ship them back to be sold as new. And then these were returned, sent back to me because apparently it was damaged, but this is literally perfect packaging. And we got a couple things in Burlington. This is all stuff that we still need to catalog. But let me catalog this stuff, which is just stuff that I buy in normal retail stores that if you've been on this channel before, you've seen me do a bunch of times. Those are my most popular videos. But this stuff is new. And I'll tell you how I bought that and why I was able to buy like I think $600 worth of inventory at 100% return on investment and only like an hour and a half without leaving my house. All right, I need to show you something real quick that was kind of a trick that I used when I was sourcing these things at TJ Maxx. These moleskins mostly, these calendars. First off, it's great because we're moving right into this time. It's 2021, 2022 calendars that I'm finding. July 2021 through December 2022 calendars. So these are good to sell pretty much to the end of the year. And I found a lot of these for last year in like November and sold out of them in like the first week that they were there. So I was pumped when I first saw these at TJ Maxx. And honestly, it feels a little bit wrong to say that I found these at TJ Maxx and wasn't able to show you because now that I've been filming all of my reselling, I think I filmed pretty much everything that I've done in my business, so it feels wrong to do anything without you guys. So I'm sorry if I offended you. But what's really interesting about these is because of one of the things that we're going to talk about later, I know that I was going to have a minimum price set before anything would sell, so no matter what, I would get what I wanted. But obviously that means that the price has to go up that high, and where it was looking initially, it wasn't. $8 a piece, and if we look at it, right now it says that you're only getting back $10.76. $10.76 is only about a 25% return on investment on $8, especially after tax. But if we look, Amazon's in at $16.46. Why is it so low? And I have sold these when Amazon's been on the listing before, so I know that they have shared the buy box, so I'm not too worried about that. But then I see all these other prices which are a little bit higher. So what I did was I went into research and I just looked it up on Amazon itself. It's a deal from $25. Since I feel like these are gonna be in season for the next 6 months, I do think that the price will go back up to that. And if we scan these black ones now, these ones were at the same price initially, but we can see that Amazon's already raised their price up to the point where it's 100% return on investment. So that's why I picked those up. So don't be afraid. If you think something should be more, check the Amazon listing, check Camel, 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 and those things will be able to help you out. And just having a good strategy for it. The third part, the post-production, which we'll talk about later, will be really helpful to make sure that you earn that profit and aren't like how I was for the first bunch of months reselling, where I would buy something knowing that I could get a higher price, but not ensuring that I would, and selling it sometimes at a loss. All right, I'm gonna finish up the rest of these, and then we'll get to this guy real quick. Everything is getting validated at Amazon on Inventory Lab. Adding it to the batch. Awesome, so we're over 100% return on investment so far. We're not done yet. And then we also have over $1,200 of profit, potential profit. This is just all the stuff that we bought the normal method. Now obviously this is a very small amount of the other inventory that I was able to purchase, and I've done something like this before a tiny bit. As you can see, this is an Academy box, which is literally just for this one thing. The rest of this is from Walmart, like that first item that we picked up in the opening shot. Now when I had initially broken my toe, which is still a little broken, and I can't play soccer yet, which I'm really annoyed about, I was thinking that I was gonna make an online arbitrage video, and I realized I really don't know how to do that, and it's not something I'm super interested in learning at the moment, beyond what I did here, because I bought all of this from my laptop over like a 1 to 2 hour period. But the reason I was able to buy all this stuff is because it's replenishments for inventory that I already have sold on Amazon. So I initially found it in the stores that said Academy, these at Walmart, and I know that these sell for sure because I've sold out of them every single time that I bought them. But sometimes they have limited stock in stores or no stock in stores, and it's just easier to not have to go to the store. So I decided I would just check online and see what they had. So I just checked online and they have a ton of them. Unfortunately though, I was planning on buying out a lot of the stock that's online and then still buying them when I go to the stores. But Walmart sent me some of the ones that were from the stores that were close. That's something to watch out for from Walmart. It's not the case with the Academy, so if I find some of these at the Academies, I'll still be able to pick those up. But once you found some good replenishable products at some stores, look for them online because that'll save you a lot of time. And something like this was 20% off at Academy because they had a 20% off site-wide fishing sale that was only online. And the other thing that I really like about doing this type of online arbitrage or any type is the free packing gear. I got so much free shipping gear just because they shipped all this stuff to me. So that's kind of like a hybrid online arbitrage that you can do after you've already done the retail arbitrage. I know that there are plenty of people who do online stuff. I just don't feel like messing with learning how to do that because I feel like my business is humming right now and that's all that I want to sustain. But if I can buy the same stuff that I would in the store and save myself time that way, I'm comfortable with that for now. That may change, who knows? Your business is always gonna change. I'm gonna finish organizing all this stuff up and then we're gonna actually start sending the inventory into Amazon, which is tedious. So everything has been put into inventory labs and now we're quickly gonna organize everything by its item so it's outside of the box and we can figure out what we have to delabel, which is pretty much everything today. Take all the labels off, put poly bags on a lot of items like these moleskins where part of it is coming off. Some people have shrink wrap, which is really good, but I just have poly bags and so I'll throw this in a different poly bag. Take all of these type of labels off of everything and then put our own labels on. It's 120 now and this is the part that by far takes the most amount of time. So I'll show you how I do everything, all of the delabeling, the labeling. I'm gonna use hair dryers to get all the stickers off because the heat will help to take the glue off the bottom of the stickers, and then we'll use Glue Gun to take all the residue off of the packaging so that the packaging looks perfect because you want your packaging to look as good as possible because Amazon's buy box, one of the measurements that they use to get it is having good customer reviews. So if you have bad packaging or something that you list as new might feel like it's not new, even if the product is, you want to give the customer the best presentation possible. Luckily this shipment isn't as large as some of my other ones in terms of total number of items. It's still almost there in terms of total profit, which is about $1,400, but it's only 195 items. One trick that I was able to do on this shipment is actually lower the amount of shipments that I had just by waiting a little bit. I first went onto Inventory Labs and requested my proposed shipments, and I got 5 shipments back from Amazon, and that's a lot of shipments for 193 items. So I just waited a couple of minutes, did a couple other things that I wanted to do, came back to it, and I got 3 shipments. So now it's only going to be 3 different boxes, 2 of which are going to the same place because the backpacks are small oversized, and those get sent to a different fulfillment center a lot of times than the other items. So 2 of them are going to Nashville, 1 of them is going to Charlotte. So after taking all the labels off, making sure everything looks nice and pretty, we'll put those into the correct boxes, tell Inventory Lab which boxes we put everything in, or you could tell Amazon if you just use Amazon, and then you'll have all your boxes ready to go. And check out this that I found out and feel stupid now for finding it out because when I was dropping off my shipment last time, there was a guy there who was also dropping off stuff for Amazon, and he just had his one label sheet and he didn't cut it in half like I've always done with all of my labels. So now I feel stupid because as long as it's not covering a seam when they open it, why was I cutting my labels in half and spending double the time labeling all my crap? Speaking of things taking more or less time than they should, it's 10:30 now and we had actually about 3 hours of distractions because we had a community barbecue I forgot about. Spent way too long than we probably should have looking at TikToks together. And my feet were tired and I do all this standing, so I just had to take like a 30-minute break at one point. So being able to do this whole shipment in pretty much less than 6 hours is like a new record for me, especially for sending in so much stuff. And there are a couple reasons that the sending to Amazon part was a lot nicer this time. First off is the program that I use, Inventory Lab. This is what it looks like when you've had a successful day. As you can see, all of my boxes were accepted by Amazon and it has all of the information for the shipment. We had $4,000 worth of sales, $1,300 is what I spent. Potential profit, $1,389. Sales rank was $273,000 on average, 53 total SKUs and 194 items. And that's a really important number for me because normally $1,400 of stuff is like 400 to 500 items. Maybe not that many, but it is definitely normally more than what I had here, and because I was buying things that cost more but still return the same return on investment, I was able to send in less items, which took me way less time to ship in. That's not always going to be the case, but that is nice when it happens. But honestly, one of the things that annoys me the most about sending stuff to Amazon is the cost of shipping it in and how much Amazon likes to split shipments up. You can probably tell that just by the fact that I waited a little bit to see if I would get more shipments from Amazon, and it ended up being a couple shipments less. But I think my aversion to wanting to send small shipments, because I've always sent massive shipments, has actually cost me some money just in terms of sales volume. So let's go get something and I'll tell you why. So sending small shipments into Amazon is not fun, because especially when I send in smaller numbers of units, it normally breaks it up more, which wouldn't seem to make sense, but I think that's because the more units that I send in, it just sends it to one fulfillment center and then distributes it from there. But a lot of times if you send in small batches of units, it's just gonna have you do that work for them, because I don't think that they want to deal with such minimal volume, which is why I've been put off in the past on sending small shipments in. The problem with that is that as I've been growing my YouTube channel and putting a lot more time into that, I've been purchasing inventory a lot more sporadically, especially because you guys really like the videos when I go out and source stuff, and I want to be able to show you more of that. So I haven't been as good about just going out 1 or 2 days every 2 weeks, buying stuff, and then shipping it all in together. The problem with that is I only send in 3 shipments in 2 months, which means that I have $1,500 of inventory sitting in my house that I think is at Amazon, and I'm wondering why the inventory in my house isn't selling on Amazon. It's because I'm stupid. The thing is though, I'm trying to get around paying like an extra $5 to $15 in shipping, but that's causing me business stability because I have inventory that should be getting sold that's just sitting in my house. So I knew that these were coming today, which are a lot more of the inventory that I talked about at the very beginning of the video that I just bought as replenishments. These ones are from Academy. I think this is stuff for the van from Amazon, so that's exciting. But especially now seeing how little time it's taking me to send in smaller quantities of shipments, not sending in 600 units at a time, which takes me like 10 hours. If I want to send in a shipment of 50 or 100 units, because it's in an interim period, I can make sure that those units are getting sold. A lot of those red Skull Candy headphones that were in the bigger case, I was literally wondering why those weren't selling, because I thought that I had shipped them in. The problem is, obviously I hadn't, but if I had sent them in, those were selling at about 2 per day for me, so all of those would already be gone by now if I had just shipped them in, and they were returning about $10 a piece on a $13 purchase, so that would mean I would have another $150 of profit that I could use either to buy more inventory or to pay myself, but instead I'm now shipping them in because I wasn't willing to send in small shipments, so we're going to change that. So especially if you don't have like routines in sending in shipments, which is something that I realized I didn't have when I was working for myself, and I would just kind of send stuff in as much as I could. Sometimes it's better to just have it be there, pay a little bit more in shipping fees, maybe send it to a couple more fulfillment centers, but make your life a lot better because you will have sold inventory that otherwise would have just been sitting in your house for 3 weeks. Plus, that doesn't make me as scared to not send this in right now because I forgot to add it to my shipment, and now I'm just going to add it to my next small shipment that I send in rather than waiting the next 2 weeks in order to send in a bigger one, but that'll be for a different video. Now, there is definitely a balance with this. You don't want to just be sending in shipments all the time to Amazon if that's not what you want to do, and for me, it's not. I much prefer making videos, and I use reselling to buy my time to make videos and pursue other business ventures. And I really feel like in this second stage of sending inventory into Amazon, I've been failing because I haven't been sending inventory into Amazon. Sending in smaller shipments will definitely do the trick for me, and at least making sure I send in 2 shipments a month. So I have a massive mess all around here. Let's clean all of this mess up so I'm not actually living in a warehouse, and we'll talk through part 3, that post-production angle on things. There's definitely a better word for it, but that's how I think about it right now. Okay, you have to make a deal not to laugh at me, but the first thing that I put in the post-production is actually taking the stuff to UPS. I think that's because it's out of my house, so it feels like it's post-production, but I feel like the literal sending of the shipment to Amazon should be in sending shipment to Amazon. But this is something that I had skipped. Normally, I would just send off my shipment and I wouldn't really worry about it at all. Recently, if you watch one of my other videos, you'll know that I've changed my repricer, and so now I'm gonna go into BQool, my repricing software, and set my minimum and maximum preferences so that it can reprice it for me. Because like I said, when we get back to profit stuff, that's going to be one of the most important things in your business to make sure that you stay sustainable. And I don't think it's rocket science that the more profit you have, the more money you're going to make, and the better you're going to do in your business, as long as you know what to do with that profit once it gets into your pocket. And so we'll get to that. But speaking of BQool, I've been in contact with their affiliate team, and I actually am going to get on a call with them in a couple of minutes to discuss something that I hope I can tell you about after the call. Otherwise, it'll be really, really soon. Okay, he said it's audio only, and that's a good thing because it don't look very good right now for a professional meeting with a brand. No problem. I was finishing up an Amazon shipment actually as we were finishing chatting. All right, thank you very much, Eric. Yeah, I really enjoyed BQool so far, and we're gonna get to that here in a second. But normally they're 14-day trial. I'm not sure when my affiliate link will be updated with it, but it's gonna be changed to 30 days for all of you guys, so you can have an extra couple of weeks to test the product. That way you can just get a free month worth of repricing and just try it out, especially because you can even do that on their AI repricer, which gives you 1,000 listings to be AI repriced, which is really nice. And that's the plan that I'm about to be signing up for as soon as he sends me a special link to do so. But for now, we'll go into my normal BQool account and update all of the minimum prices there, and I'll show you real quick how to do that. And we'll talk about why that's so important and what lasts to do. Honestly, I've yet to go on BQool right after doing a shipment because, like I showed you, I haven't done a shipment in almost a month. But we're going to bounce on over into BQool, obviously affiliate link in the description, and see if our listings will update automatically. I know sometimes it says that it takes up to 10 hours or 12 hours for everything to transfer over from Inventory Lab. Oh, nice. Okay, so it does show all of the new listings. So these are stuff that I just got that I'm sending in, but as you can see, it doesn't have the costs yet. So what I'm going to try to do is go to reload costs from Inventory Lab over in bulk actions, reload costs from Inventory Lab, and it doesn't seem to do anything. I was wondering why that wasn't working for me, and it's just because I'm stupid. I thought it would just do it for all of them automatically. You actually have to select units when it says select units. So now we have the spinning ball of death. This is a good time to say basically post-production is not only repricing, which is probably the most important thing, because that way you'll make sure that if your stuff gets into Amazon and you haven't had any other time to manage your business, it won't sell below the minimum price that you set in your repricer. But it's not only a good time to reprice, it's also a good time to do any other inventory maintenance because you're probably going to be in that headspace. Granted, if some of your shipments take like 10 to 12 hours like some of mine have, you might want to just take a break from it and then come back to it later. But this is a great time to purge listings, maybe reconcile other shipments that you noticed since you were on your managed shipment page. But that way too, you'll be able to batch your time so that you do all your Amazon stuff now so that you can either work on sourcing or a different part of your Amazon business later, or if you're like me and either just want more free time to work on the van that you want to go travel the country with, or time to work on your YouTube channel or other businesses, getting all of the Amazon work out of the way in one go and not having to worry about it again until maybe a week or two later is a good thing. All right, so it does look like we will have to wait the 12 hours until Inventory Lab updates with BQool. I did test it on some other items that I have already active, as we can see with this one. If I try to reload the cost from Inventory Lab here, this one did work. It reloaded, there was no errors. It just finished filming and I got an email back from one of the guys that I was emailing on the BQool team who I had that chat with. And he let me know that the reason that I was getting that message was because the shipment that I created may not have fully registered on Amazon, and if there's no inbound shipment to Amazon Fulfillment Center, then it will display a timeout message after you reload the cost from Inventory Lab, which makes sense because those shipments right now, since they're still sitting in my house and not being shipped, are in the ready to ship rather than actually shipped. So that makes total sense. Onto whatever I said before I interrupted myself. And those are the little things in your business that are going to make you way more profit because you're taking the time now to make sure that you're not losing money on items. And I'm super stoked to say that I haven't lost money on a single item that I've sold over the past week and a half now that I've had BQool, because I've had minimums based on return on investment. So every single thing that's sold has made me more profit on average than what I would have made before. And I know that's the case because Inventory Lab is telling me that on my sales reports, but we'll get into that in a couple weeks when I do my full first month review of it. But while you're figuring out what some of those post-production things are after you send in your shipment to Amazon, watch this video to have way less stress in your Amazon business because I go over 4 things that I do to make my life way easier, or this video if you're more interested in the repricing tool BQool and why I changed my repricer and how it's going to be great. Peace.